Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining tonight. This is Politics Today live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimbaloye in Abuja. The issues we have to discuss tonight are so crucial and sometimes a bit controversial. So let's get to it, everyone. And we keep our eyes on the election of the 25th of February 2023, because it's now less than 40 days and we're counting down to the election day when Nigerians will get the opportunity to elect their leaders in February this year. So get your PVC. It's 39 days officially. Make your vote count. Another sad tale about the series of attacks that we're seeing on INF facility continue. And last night, gunmen attacked the Independent National Electoral Commission office, this time in Enugu South local government area of the state, killing one police officer. The incident occurred about 9:12 p.m. yesterday, and INEC says the security gatehouse was raised. Fortunately, the attackers could not gain access to the main building as a result of the rapid response from the police and army personnel from the 82 Division. The State Commissioner of Police and the President Electoral Commission of INEC in Enugu were personally at the scene immediately after they received information about the attack. Of the two men deployed to protect the facility, one of them lost his life in the process, while the other sustained injuries and is receiving treatment. Tonight, the APC is raising eyebrow about a matter we discussed right here on the program on what has become hashtag Atiku Gate. It's become a controversial conversation offline and online. And so tonight, the APC is talking about it, and they are making specific demands in this election. We'll be hearing response from the PD Presidential Campaign Council. When we discussed this matter yesterday, it wasn't the opposition that was speaking. We're just interrogating the issues. But now, we'll be interrogating the issues from the prism of the opposition and what they are asking the PDP to do and the anti-graft agency. So stay around with me. Plus, we'll review what Peter Obi said at Chatham House today. What does that mean for the campaign? What will it end Peter Obi and the Labour Party? Were you impressed about Peter Obi's appearance? So we discuss all of that also tonight. But first, let's check out some of your political roundup stories.
Governor Omar Rufintiri of Adamawa State has reiterated that the best of his administration is yet to be seen as he plans to increase infrastructure development in the state in his last term in office. He made this promise while addressing supporters during a campaign in Vopi, in Numan local government area of the state. The governor assured the people of consolidating on achievements so far recorded in the areas of health, education, infrastructure, and youth empowerment, among others. The governorship candidate of the Labour Party in Abia State, Alex Oti, has promised that if voted as governor, he will tackle insecurity and bring poverty to its barest minimum in the state by creating wealth. Mr. Oti stated this when he visited the palace of the traditional ruler of Amofufe Igbere in Bende local government area of the state, His Royal Highness Eze Owakwe Ukegbu. According to him, his wealth of experience and successes recorded in the private sector gives him an edge above other candidates vying for the governorship seats in the state.
Creating wealth is empowering you so that you can feed and have more to give out to others.
The Oni of Ife, Oba Adeye Ogunwusi, is appealing to Nigerian youths not to sell their permanent voters' cards, but to use it to choose leaders of their choice for a better country that works for all. Oni gave the charge while playing host to the Osun State Resident Electoral Commissioner, Mr. Mutiu Agboke, in his palace in Ile-Ife.
Why are our youth selling their voters' card? It doesn't make any sense for their future. So I will continue to appeal to them that they should stop all this.
As the 2023 general elections draw near, the International Organization for Food, Shelter and Empowerment has urged those seeking political office at all levels to address the issue of poverty and food shortage in Nigeria. The executive director of the group, Declan Ogoine, said this at a press conference in the Idata South local government area of Imo State.
My view in 2023 election is for everybody to vote the right person to help to eliminate the poverty and also to elevate the economy of this country.
Let's get straight to business. And our first business of the night is the matter of the alleged Atiku gate. Now, the All Progressives Congress Presidential Campaign Council has come all out against the PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar. The Presidential Campaign Council of the APC is asking the presidential candidate of the PDP, Mr. Atiku Abubakar, to withdraw from the 2023 presidential race and immediately subject himself to security agencies. The spokesperson of the council, Mr. Festus Keyamo, told a news conference in Abuja today that Mr. Abubakar needs to address the issue of alleged corruption raised against him by his former aide. He said the former vice president does not enjoy any immunity and so should be invited by security agencies to answer the allegations that border on money laundering, breach of the penal and criminal code. The APC Campaign Council has also commenced a legal process compelling security agencies to immediately look into the matter. Take a listen to excerpt from that press conference.
With iron-cast evidence of letters of appointment by Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, emails, documents, audio clips, sworn affidavits, and his direct oral evidence as to how Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, who happens to be the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, during his tenure as Vice President of Nigeria between 1999 and 2007, colluded with his then boss, President Olusegun Obasanjo, to fleece the country and steal public funds using what he termed the Special Purpose Vehicle, SPVs. I have written a letter this morning, apart from this, to the law enforcement agencies. The PCC, if they don't approve me, if Asiwaju say I should stop campaigning for him because of this, I'll stop. This is national interest. If you say drop from cabinet because of this, I will drop. This is national interest. I am going to court myself. Apart from the PCC decision, we've directed and reverted the attention of our media into delving seriously into this issue, asking the pertinent questions, calling the defenders to book, and putting them on the spot and letting Nigerians know exactly what transpired, because the whistleblower has made very weighty allegations with proofs.
Right, you heard the APC and their campaign council spokespersons on this matter. So let's hear from the PDP. Tonight we'll be speaking with the spokesperson of the Atiku Okowa Presidential Campaign Council, Senator Dino Melaye. He joins us from Lagos. Thank you so much, Senator, for joining us tonight. Officially, how does your campaign council react to the position of the APC? First, they've asked your candidate to withdraw from this race based on the allegations made from Mr. Michael Achimogo.
Anyway, good evening, Nigerians. First, I want to start by saying that it's a very laughable press conference, and these have completely shown the desperation of the APC. These have shown that their satanic manifestation. These have shown that they've all accepted Atiku is the leading presidential candidate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. They have no other credible means of campaigning or trying to fight the PDP than to orchestrate lies from the pit of hell. Even from what Festus Keyamo just said, he said they have evidence that letters of appointment from Atiku Abubakar, that is fallacious, that is malicious, and that is a lie from the pit of hell. The letter the so-called Mike paraded are letters from two support groups, one from TCOM, one from Atiku support group, where Atiku have no control of those support groups. And we are saying that if you are an aide, you claim to be a media aide of Atiku Abubakar, you will have a letter of appointment from Atiku Abubakar. I am the spokesperson of Atiku Abubakar. I got a letter signed by Atiku Abubakar appointing me as the spokesperson. I'm the director of public affairs of the presidential campaign organization of the PDP. I have a letter signed by the director general of the campaign council. So where is a letter appointing him as an aide? And it is so shameless that Festus and the other jesters will come on TV and then begin to say that there was an evidence of a letter appointing him as an aide. But let's not even go into that. It is very, very funny that tissues of lies were put together. Atiku Abubakar is one of the most investigated Nigerians. Today, this is the first time in the Federal Republic of Nigeria that I will see blatantly, koro, eyeball to eyeball, that an armed robber will be accusing an innocent citizen. I mean, a man who has criminal tendencies, a man who is a convicted criminal by the virtue of money that was confiscated, over 340 million naira was confiscated in Tinubu's account as a drug lord in America. And not only a drug lord, he's even a suspected addict of same drug. A man who faced code of conduct for criminal activities. A man who has over a dozen of petitions waiting for him in the FCC and ICPC will accuse a man that has never been invited by either code of conduct, ICPC or EFCC, a man that has been investigated and never been indicted by any court of law, or he has never even been prosecuted by any court of law in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So these distractions are not important to us. Instead of them to talk on how they will help Nigerians to vote PDP, to ameliorate and palliate the satanic manifestations of APC, to correct the issues of insecurity. They are trying to cover up for the maladministration of APC in 8 years by raising unnecessary lies and issues that are completely baseless. So honestly, we have no reaction to tissues of lies. We have no reactions to comedy. We have no reactions to so-called jesters putting themselves together and eroding the lies of one individual who is a known blackmailer all over this country. I mean, okay.
So let's take these issues quickly, Senator, because the purpose of this program is that we need to speak to those who are seeking power. And it's popular saying that he who comes to equity must come with clean hands. So, I mean, there needs to be some clarity and some putting answers to some questions that have been raised. So I'd like to ask some very quick questions so that we can get to our destination, which is, if anything of this is true, your candidate or your campaign council might be able to clarify them. First and foremost, and I asked this question to your colleague who was on the program yesterday, Michael Achimogo. Is he a known person to Mr. Atiku Abubakar?
I just answered in my initial response, Seun, and I told you that Festus Keyamo corroborated the lie of Mike, and that has given us the foundation of where Mike started from. Mike is being sponsored by APC. Mike is being sponsored by Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and that is why they are doing a follow-up to a project they started in Mike. Mike is not a media aide of Atiku Abubakar. The letters he brought online and he produced, and which shamelessly, myopically, Festus is referring to, are letters from support groups. I can decide in this room to say myself and 3 other people are setting up a support group, understand, to support Atiku Abubakar. That does not have the mandate of Atiku Abubakar. It is not part of our presidential campaign council. And those letters were written by people that have no any close official administrative tie with Atiku Abubakar. And surprisingly, only in Nigeria will people be reacting to this type of frivolous, unfounded stories. I am telling you as an individual that it was never an aid. Media aids make releases on behalf of Atiku of their principals. I am talking on behalf of Atiku Abubakar because I have the mandate to do so. Let him show us where is his mandate, where is his letter to speak for Atiku Abubakar at any time. But a man who is a blackmailer, and in this era of technology where the head of Tinubu can be removed from the picture and you put the head of Shetima, that is in a time like this where there is voiceover.
All right,
where
Senator,
you can use
Senator.
the voice.
So let's get it clear now. Yeah. Let's get it clear, Senator. So what your principal is saying tonight to Nigerians is that he doesn't have any relationship whatsoever, ever, with Mike Achimogu, and he doesn't know him at all. Is that the statement coming from your principal tonight?
Let me tell you this. Atiku Abubakar is not only the former Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, he is the most popular Nigerian today on earth. And people meet him on the street on daily basis. We traveled on the street of London. People were stopping him to take pictures with him. So if you see Atiku Abubakar and take a picture with him, or you interacted with him for minutes, then you go out and say you are his close aides, that is not acceptable. What I am saying in essence, as an investigative...
Senator, so what
Can you allow me to just land, please? That what I'm saying in essence is that as an investigative journalist, go and carry out due diligence. Every statement made by that boy, sponsored by the APC, to create unnecessary distractions. They know, Festus Keyamo said he has gone to court, he has written petitions in his name. They are the ones orchestrating this thing. A man who needs to resign is the man who is not healthy, is a man, the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria have said to you, for you to be the president of this country, you must be physically and mentally fit. Tinubu is not physically fit, he's not mentally fit, and he has been indicted of a criminal activity in America where over $460,000 have been confiscated from his account. We have evidence of his criminality. We have evidence of his indictment. What is he still doing around saying that he wants to be president?
Senator,
instead of them to apologize to Nigerians and the man withdraw, you are talking of an innocent Nigerian that is coming to salvage us from the woes and the troubles that APC have taken us through.
Senator, so what I want to establish, and it's taking a long time for us to establish, is whether or not I know somebody, I have a relationship, an acquaintance and friends, family members, relatives. Those are distinct relationships. And so, and I'm trying to get it clear so that Nigerians have an understanding of what the issues are. Is your candidate saying, and I'd like you to quickly just say this so that we can move on to some other issues, is your candidate saying that he has never had any relationship whatsoever with Michael Achimogu?
That is what I am telling you now, that my candidates have no personal or administrative relationship with Michael Achimogu. And he is not an aide of...
Since you said that, let's move on now.
He is not an aide of Atiku Abubakar. These are all orchestrations of the APC.
So that's the question I'd like you to answer, so it takes us to the next point. Have you listened or watched the tapes that were released by Michael Achimogu online? Precisely the one involving allegedly the voice of the former Vice President, Atiku Abubakar, in a telephone conversation where Michael Achimogu said he was trying to establish and extract a direction from the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar on how to respond to those who allege that the former Vice President is corrupt, and was asking in respect of a certain organization, a certain company, which in that voice, in that tape, was the tape said it was a special purpose vehicles. This voice that is allegedly to be Atiku Abubakar. Have you listened to that tape? And can you tell us whether or not that is Atiku Abubakar's voice?
That recording and manipulation must have been done either in Bodilon or in the studio of TVC. Technology. So
that is not Atiku Abubakar's voice.
Technology these days, let me tell you, there's something called voice over technology. I can plant your voice, I can manipulate your voice, I can coordinate your voice, and I'm telling you that everything that has been orchestrated, that have been presented by Michael Achimogu are fallacies, lies, malicious lies from the pit of hell. And I'm telling you that Nigerians should not be distracted, and China's television should not be distracted. Shehu Okinbaloye should not be distracted by this issue of lies. You should confront the APC with their massive failure in Nigeria, in Lagos. They should confront them with the issues of insecurity, with the issues of hunger, with the issues of kidnapping, with the issues of disunity that they have brought upon Nigeria. This is a strategy to just distract the general public from the issues that are on ground and from diverting the attention of the electorate from the upcoming election. And we should not be distracted about that. Atiku is not going to respond to these issues of lies. Atiku is busy selling his agenda to Nigerians. He's busy communicating with the electorate. He's busy telling them, I will take you out of the land of Egypt to the promised land of Canaan. He's trying to tell Nigerians that by the grace of God, the issues of power will be solved. The issues of insecurity will be solved. Housing and unemployment will be solved. That I will bring peace back to this land. That is what Atiku is selling to the public. And that is what we want to be concerned about. That is what we want to speak about. Not distractions that are manipulated by the APC to create unnecessary distractions.
Senator, I can assure you, take this from me. You've known me for a while now. Channels does not look like an organization that is distracted. I don't look like one that is distracted. We are focused. We know our jobs, and we will do it. And now, you were here when we interrogated when the issues of the candidate of the APC came up. We confronted the issues, and we took it up. Now, this concerns the integrity and the capacity of your candidate, and we're asking the questions. And I'd like to go further by asking you tonight again, there are also tapes that are being released, allegedly belonging to the children of Mr. Atiku Abubakar. Now you've denied and said that the voice that we heard, released by Michael Achimogu, is not that of Atiku Abubakar. The ones released allegedly to be those of the children of Mr. Atiku Abubakar. What can you say about those?
I don't speak for the children of Atiku Abubakar. I speak for Atiku Abubakar.
So you don't know any of his children? And you don't know whether those voices sound like theirs?
I speak for Atiku Abubakar. And I'm telling you that a man who has lied about Atiku Abubakar will lie about anything.
Now, let me go further, because I know at some point, if I'm not mistaken, you were in the House of Representatives when President Olusegun Obasanjo was in power. And it was crystal clear, some of the issues that came up at the time. I'm not sure this is the first time you are hearing the name of the company that has been brought into this conversation, and some of the names that have been brought into these particular conversation. If you're denying and saying that all of these things that Michael Achimogu is raising are not true, would you allow this thing to slip? Are you taking any legal action on this? Because if anybody is raising frivolous allegations against you, you're a graduate of law, Senator. Would you allow it to slip?
Anyway, I want to say, Sean, that don't take Panadol for another man's headache. I want to assure you that the man who is making these allegations have more than 3 cases in court already of blackmail. He has a case in court against Alhaji Aminu from Kogi State, who he blackmailed to collecting money from. He has a case that is popularly on the Facebook and is everywhere on the social media against a woman that he defrauded. So I want to announce to you that either myself as a spokesperson or the PDP as a party after today, will not react to any question coming from this blackmailer, after today we will not react to it. So I want to tell you categorically that we are concerned about the forthcoming election. We are concerned about bringing back the long-run reputation of this country. We are concerned about uniting this country. We are concerned about restructuring this country. We are concerned about giving Nigerian community policing. We are concerned about providing jobs for the teeming unemployed youth of this country. We are concerned about the health care status of this country. We are concerned about building a new security architecture that will protect Nigerians, and people will go to their houses and sleep. We are concerned about the economy of this country. And this is what the APC do not want us to speak about. And that is why they commissioned this known professional blackmailer to come up with this, and they will now follow up with what they are following up with. Just surprisingly, the petition to EFCC and ICPC was written from the office of Festus Keyamo, a serving minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. They are so myopic, so porous, so intellectually stagnant that they cannot even portray, understand, in a civilized manner, the coup career that they are trying to do. We have seen beyond their games, and that is why we are not going to be concerned or respond to this type of frivolous beer parlor issues. Atiku Abubakar, by the grace of the Almighty God, by the popular mandate of Nigerians, will be the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and they should rather advise their candidate to withdraw from the race, because he has no competence or capability to be the president of Nigeria. He cannot wear an oversized shoe. In Nigeria today, we cannot have Pablo as our president and then have Osama bin Laden as vice president. Where will it end up? Where will we get to? So by the grace of the Almighty God, we will be focused on our campaigns. We will be focused on the problems that are bedeviling this country, created by the APC. We do not want, after being the capital. Sorry, finally, please. We do not want that now that they have taken us to become the, poverty capital of the world. We do not want to be the drug capital of the world. No, a drug baron cannot be the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Senator, let's anchor on this question, and quickly too. I just have about 60 seconds to wrap up this conversation with you. And my question, Senator, is that should Nigerians ask that your candidates come to equity and subject themselves to interrogation or investigation in this respect based on Michael Achimogu's allegations? Because if they are frivolous allegations, there are ways to prove and dispel them. Yeah, under our laws. Now, would your principal be willing and ready to subject himself to the process of law to clear his name and to show Nigerians that he has a clean hands from all of these allegations that he's raised?
I'm surprised you're asking this question, because Atiku Abubakar is a Democrat, he's a Nigerian. He has always been available for investigations. He has been investigated time and time again, and he has come out very clean, with clean status after investigation. So you do not even need the permission of Atiku Abubakar to investigate him. You understand? So we are not afraid of investigation, because he's the most investigated Nigerians, and if you investigate him time and time again, he will come out clean. The man that is supposed to be arrested and prosecuted is the one that has been indicted already of being a drug baron, and there's a certified court indictment that money was confiscated, money was taken away from him to the tune of 340,400,000 naira, to the tune of $460,000. That is already an indictment. He's the man that has first code of conduct before. He's the man who bled Lagos to nothing. He's the man who is using Alpha Beta to destroy the economy of the poor citizens of Lagos State. He's the man who has taken over all the properties of government in Lagos State. Even TVC used to be the property of Lagos State. His house in Abuja used to be the property of Lagos State. His house in Bodilon used to be the property of Lagos State. That is the man that should be indicted. The man whose wife is supplying the diesel to all government offices in Lagos. The man whose son is in charge of designations in Lagos.
Senator,
that is the man that should be prosecuted. That is the man.
Senator, we need to go. We are totally out of time. Thank you so much. Senator Dino Melaye, thank you so much indeed for speaking and reacting to these issues on behalf of the Campaign Council of Atiku and Okowa. Thank you so much indeed for your time
Thank
tonight.
you. It's my pleasure all the time. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Nigerians, take this from us tonight. We will question and we'll bring to you the issues that matter in this election, because Nigerians need to hire the best hands for the job in 2023. We take a break, everyone. And when we come back, we'll be assessing yet another person who says he's capable of leading this country. One of the spokespersons, Kenneth Okonkwo, will be joining me as we review the appearance of Peter Gregory Obi at the Chatham House earlier today. Join us again, everyone. We'll be right back. Thank you so much, everyone. Welcome back to the program. The presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, today appeared at the Chatham House, and in his speech, he's vowed to dismantle the, quote, structure holding Nigeria captive and preventing the nation from advancement and progressive development. He was given the chance to discuss his plans at the World Leading Policy Institute and think tank forum, Chatham House, in the United Kingdom. So much he said, running to about an hour and a half or 2 hours thereabout earlier today. But let me allow you, there's one particular area that he spoke about that I'm particularly interested in listening to, and that is in the area of electricity. For those of you who are not able to watch live, take a listen to what Peter Obi said he's going to do in the area of electricity.
The fifth plank of our government priorities is to build expansive infrastructure for efficient power supply, rail, road, and air transportation, and pipeline network through integrated public-private partnership and entrepreneurial public sector governance. Our solution to the perennial power problem in Nigeria is comprehensive and is well covered in our manifesto. We will ensure that we deal with the issue of transmission distribution. However, we will immediately complete the 2.3 billion Nigeria Siemens network improvement deal to achieve a stable 7,000 by the end of this year, 11,000 megawatts by 2024, and 25,000 megawatts by 2025.
Well, that's some portion of Peter Obi's interventions at the appearance in Chatham House earlier today. I'm being joined by one of the spokespersons of the Labour Party Presidential Campaign Organization, a lawyer, Mr. Kenneth Okonkwo. Thank you so much indeed for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much, and thank you viewers at home for joining us.
Yeah, so Peter Obi was presented yet another opportunity to speak to the issues that he hopes to find solutions to should he be elected the next president of Nigeria. But first and foremost, how significant do you think this appearance and this attendance is for the Labour Party and the chances of Peter Obi that ticket?
Oh, well, his appearance today at Chatham House is not just an appearance that will further Labour Party or further his candidacy. His appearance has projected Nigeria as a pride of the black race, has projected Nigeria for what it is, the giant of Africa. I am so proud of my principal, who was so stingy that he went to Chatham House and refused to share questions. He was answering the questions, in contradiction to the generous APC candidate who went there and shared all the questions for other people to answer. And that marks the basis of what he is talking about leadership. Was able to pinpoint Nigerian problem to leadership. When he told you that the landmass of Niger State, which is about 76 kilometers square meter, more than the whole land of Netherlands, and Netherlands is making hundreds of billions of dollars in agricultural products only. Yet Niger State, under the on watchful eyes of APC, most like 6 local governments are under the management of terrorists, a place that would have been giving us food security.
But the federal government says there's no such thing.
What do you want them to tell you? You want me to tell you about my friend in Kebbi State that couldn't attend his mother's burial, his sister's burial, because they told him not to come because terrorists are in charge of his state? You still want me to repeat about the security situation we are in now, where Reverend Fathers are roasted in the same Niger State that they are claiming such a thing is not happening? You are the one who told me about the Enugu State. People now being roasted. It has now climbed from being a bad government to an evil government to no effective government at all. We don't have effective government in Nigeria as I talk to you today. So my principal went to Chatham House to tell you about a new Nigeria that is about to unfold. You saw him talk about the security and uniting Nigeria. But there's something that is very, very elating when he was talking about security and uniting Nigeria. He said there will be an integration of the activities of the national intelligence and the security agencies. You are here in Nigeria, where after 44 intelligence reports that terrorists are about to attack Kuje prison, nothing was done until they were attacked. 61 terrorists released, and none of them suffered any casualty after killing our officers. Why? There is no integration between the national intelligence and the security agencies. My principal has told you that there is going to be an effective legal and institutional reforms that will ensure that such things will be eliminated. He talked about establishing a national command and control center for coordination of the activities of the intelligence and the security agencies that will effectively manage actionable intelligence.
For some of those who listened and were critical about the submission of Mr. Peter Obi in the area of security,
yes,
and I've heard and seen, I read about criticism on what he said and how he hopes that security was going to be handled. Some have criticized and said, look, that's not grounded enough. That is not sophisticated enough. What he has said, according to some of his critics, is that he just regurgitated the system that exists presently in the country, that he has not come up with concrete manner in which the problem will be solved.
Good.
Banditry, how will he solve it? The issue of a porous border, how will he solve it? These are the questions that these guys were asking.
Yes, first of all, those people that were asking those questions, maybe they are living in another planet, certainly not in West Africa, and certainly not in Nigeria, because he's regurgitating. What you have presently is one state police, one national police, no state police. State, I mean, as in Nigeria.
So will Peter be creating
3 levels of policing: federal, state, and community. He already used it as Anambra State governor.
Under which law will he be able to achieve that?
No, the law exists. Section 11 of the Constitution too, that gives you the power as a state to use the resources you have to protect your state. Good. But it does not have the power of the police. That is why whatever you're doing, you're still going to do it under the approval, consent of the police. If you arrest, you take to the police. And that is why there is no prosecution of criminals, bandits, and terrorists. How many have been convicted? Under his regime, 3 levels policing. He's going to restructure. He's going to re-equip. He's going to retrain.
These are frequently used language that we are now very, very used to in the country. And these are the questions. Right. Nigerians want specific.
Good.
Restructure. What is restructuring?
That's what I'm saying.
How will it come
3 levels policing. It is
How
not,
will it happen?
It will happen by effectively amending the Constitution and removing that word, one police. You have to do it. And that is one of his agenda.
You're a lawyer.
Oh, yes.
And so you understand what is
very well.
Border adjustment, local government creation,
yes,
even state creation, you know just how almost impossible
yes,
that our laws has made. They are just at the review and the amendment of that to happen in this country. So the question is, these are things that are in the 8th, in the 7th, in the 9th National Assembly. They've tried to amend, but it has never come true.
Because there's no sincerity of purpose. Would you give such an amendment to a Tinubu that does not believe in structuring of state police, that is not even stated in his manifesto? You think it will work? No. Dictators like to operate outside the state apparatus to achieve what they want. Let me tell you, our problem in Nigeria is not the scarcity of good governance plans, ideas, and policies. No, we're not bereft of that. You're here and you know about 2020 vision. These are no. What we lack is a combination. What we have is a combination of institutional weaknesses and lack of political will. That is why my principle is offering a new brand of leadership that is transformative, that is responsive, that is responsible, and less transactional. So what we are looking for now is that president who will go in with executive orders. You can achieve the security. What is Amotekun asking for? For powerful weapons to be able to engage the terrorists who have superior weapons over them. Why should the federal government not grant them? Under existing laws already. So there's no political will. So what he is saying, he's going to offer that brand of new leadership. And let me tell you, he talked about destroying this structure of criminality. And you and I know that these parties have been talking about structures. They have structures. And the structure they have, as you can see, the PDP and the APC, I said they should go into competition to know who failed more. What APC is talking about PDP is absolutely correct. What PDP is talking about APC is absolutely correct. What APC is talking about itself is absolutely a lie. What PDP is talking about itself is absolutely a lie. Now, you can see I'm surprised and shocked and embarrassed by the lies that are oozing out from their spokespersons. Let me tell you what Obasanjo said about the structure these people have. He said Atiku Abubakar is a man that has propensity for corruption, tendency to disloyalty, inability to say and speak the truth at all times. He says he's a man who has propensity for poor judgment, belief and reliance in matter about, lack of transparency, a man who trusts in money to buy his way out in all situations, a man who has the readiness to sacrifice morality, integrity, propriety, truth, national interest for self and selfish interest. We are seeing it manifesting. You could see in that tape you are talking about, Michael Achimugu. It was the voice of Atiku Abubakar, and they have admitted it by saying they want to leave it to concentrate on their campaign.
It's denied that that is not the voice of Atiku Abubakar.
When you deny, you go to court and sue the person for libel, for defamation, for slander. In the absence of that, that is an admission. It's not Atiku Abubakar. So that what you said is actually an admission, because he said, no, we want to leave it. The man has dared them, the Achimugu. He said, I dare them to say I did not serve Atiku, and I will bring more records. What did Atiku say? It gives me goose pimples that Atiku has the national award in corrupting the generation before him and corrupting the generation after him. He said in that tape, I have advised Obasanjo against open corruption, meaning Atiku has been operating coded corruption, sacrificing innocent people and hiding his own head. Joshua Dariye was sacrificed. In that same tape, you're talking about Marine Float as the company that Atiku advised his boss that they should form Marine Float as a company that they will use to siphon the money, that they will pay consultancy fee, non-existent, to such company.
These are allegations based on the tape released by Michael Achimugu.
So which voice is, in my own opinion, Atiku's voice.
Okay. I'm glad that you are able to put the right language.
Yeah, but put it in the right language. Clear. What about Tinubu's daughter that carried 10 million naira?
Allegedly.
Openly. No, it has been brought out. The politician openly in front of her, thanking her, saying he took only 1 million naira. Cash. Where is money laundering? He should be languishing in jail. That is the same reason that Doyin Okupe was brought to justice. Collecting cash. Section 2(1) of the Money Laundering Act. If you make or receive in cash an individual any amount exceeding 5 million naira, she should be in jail. And what about the spokesperson of APC, Festus Kayamo? He's a minister, serving minister. His person, his time has been fully paid. He's on full-time employment, and he's using himself as a resource to campaign for a political party. That is corruption. He's using the resource of Nigeria to campaign for a political party, using the money he's been paid to campaign for the political party. That is sharing the money. He's been paid for full time as a minister, and he is there talking about another party. Are we not ashamed in this country? APC and PDP, like I said, they're a monster with two heads. APC. APG and PDP, Tinubu and Atiku, they are equal and opposite. One is a Miloko of the north, another one is a Miloko of the south.
Let's anchor.
I don't know. Two of them should step down. Yeah. I've said this thing before.
Now, on a final note, because we're out of time, Mr. Okonkwo, I mean, just how fast time runs. Your candidate said in London that he's going to dismantle.
Yes.
He's going to declare war.
Yes.
And I bring again the words of his critics and say, look, this is political naivety. That the tackling Nigeria problem demands some diplomacy and demands some tactics. I mean, those who have, and you asked the question, how has resolving the power situation eluded several presidents in this country? That attacking the problem of this nation is supposed to be tactical, it's supposed to be with political diplomacy, and they have accused your principal of not being tactical and not being political enough in reasoning in the solution of this country.
You know what? Nigeria, my beloved country, is the easiest country to govern in the whole world. He governed Anambra State. It was still within Nigeria. He met Anambra State, the worst state in Nigeria. Anambra was rated last in everything. Within 4 years, Anambra was rated first in everything. First in MDG goals by UNDP. First in debt management by DMO. First in poverty rate by Dr. Magnus Pakol, the Director General of NAPEP. First in the network of roads by the Bureau of Statistics. Now, let me tell you, all these firsts being granted to him, none was done by his party. He had only APGA, where he was in. Nigeria is a very easy country to govern. Look at the secret. You that is saying, do not be corrupt. Are you corrupt? My principle has been checked all around, and there is no corruption in him. Immediately he comes in, Nigeria wastages will be cut into 50%. What is happening in Nigeria now is bloated infrastructure, bloated and inflated contracts. Now, when he comes in, he will plug the wastages, he will reduce cost of governance, he will build honest and efficient civil service, and he will aggressively fight corruption. This gives you 50% of the revenue that you need.
All right.
Now, when my
totally out of time. We're out of time.
Oh my goodness.
Mr. Kenneth Okonkwo, it's always a pleasure having you talk to us. Thanks so much indeed for coming tonight. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Just before we go, I would like to let you know, for those who have been asking questions about the whereabouts of Mr. Emefiele, just like Mr. Falana said on this program, the CBN today came out in a statement saying that the Apex Bank governor resumed with renewed vigor to perform his duty ahead of the first Monetary Policy Committee meeting of the year scheduled for the 23rd to 24th, 2023. And the CBN says Emefiele remains committed to performing the task before him in line with his oath of office. Well, the DSS has equally come out to say that it did not invade the CBN office and did not arrest the Apex Bank chief. That's all we have tonight on the program. And many thanks for being part of the show. I'm Sean Kimale. I'll see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. God bless Nigeria.